Okay, good evening, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, comrades. Once again, welcome to the night shift space. On this 12th of May 2025, the long-awaited day has come. The long moment we've been talking about for months and months while people have been ignoring it is finally here. The UPDF Amendment Bill. This is the final curtain for us to be under full dictatorial regime. This is the final North Korean regime in Uganda. The MPs are quiet. The politicians, except a few of them, have been talking about this. Our own MPs are silent about it. It is being presented tomorrow. Nobody is even talking about it. What a betrayal on the side of Ugandans. What a betrayal to the true cause of Ugandans by the politicians. For those of you who might say, so what with the UPDF Amendment Bill? If this bill passes, except for the people in the diaspora, for those whom none of them is going to be safe. Yes, except for the people in the diaspora, for those whom none of them is going to be safe. They will arrest you on any charges and take you out in the military court, and they will detain you. It is why we came out while people were jubilating over the Supreme Court ruling. We came out and told people the bitter fact that you're jubilating over nothing. And perhaps people were saying we are always negative and all that, but we had known what was coming. It was all for nothing. We told people, we asked for people, especially the leaders that are responsible, they refused to come out. We called out the MPs, they refused to come out. It is tomorrow. It is going to pass. And one of the things that I read through that bill is the autonomy of the SFC, the famous SFC that is responsible with abductions, kidnapping, and torturing of our people. The autonomy from the UPDF. What does that tell you? What do you read between the lines? A few days ago, our president changed his Twitter handle. Perhaps most of the people have not observed this, but there is something for us to see from the envelope. There is something that the president is preparing for. There is something that the president has noticed that is coming. With all these things, the UPDF Act is a black Monday for Ugandans. If our politicians do not come out to join Ugandans on the streets, comrades, no politician, no MP should come out and tell you anything. We have called them out for months and months, to the extent that their own, PROs people have been here trying to defend them. Let's not talk about the MPs. Let's not talk about, but we've been telling you that, you know what? These people are responsible. There's no way you're going to say we shouldn't focus on them. They are accountable for this. We know they don't have the numbers, but why is it that none of them is advocating? None of them is mobilizing people for streets. None of them is mobilizing people for protests. They are going to tell you at the end of the day in Parliament that, you know what? They are going to take corridors and pictures and all that. Comrades, let Ugandans brace for themselves. What is coming is a serious. For those of you who ever read the Cambodian history, if you ever read about the brothers of the Pol Pot, those three brothers that ruled Cambodia with an iron fist. This is what is coming to Uganda. In the Pol Pot era and the North Korean era. It is not good news for us. I wish even the NRM lumpens would really think harder for once. That the bill you're trying to pass from Museveni is not going to live in Uganda in the next 20 years or 30 years. No. But you're passing bills in order to ensure that his family rule gets to rule us forever. These are things, comrades, we've been saying. The problem is that when we say these things, people take them lightly. People ignore them. When we tell people to come out, support, be with the movement, be with the cause, nobody wants to. It is going to pass. What legal fraternity is going to tell you that, you know what, let's go to court? I'm sorry, but I'm going to say this. Any lawyer who tells you he's thinking of court on what is coming, just take them as daft people. These are onesies, these are fools, these are liars, these are hoodwinkers. It's high time people came out and told Ugandans the truth. You cannot act normally in a country that is abnormal. You cannot come out and think that everything is normal. You're going to think the legal way in an abnormal society when it is fully portraying itself as a military regime. You either side to the revolution or laid back and die low like an envelope. We are now own Ugandans, especially those at home. We are now own. The ones abroad, perhaps they might not understand this. But those at home, the risks that are involved with it, we are on our own. We must rise up. Nobody should tell you on how you should speak. Nobody should tell you on how to call out people. Especially Ugandans at home, speak in any form that you want to speak. Call out anybody who has to be called out. Do not allow anybody to dictate to you how people should be called out. This is about the future, especially those at home. This is about your security. This is about your livelihood. And nobody's going to fight for us. Nobody's going to come to our rescue except ourselves. I wish people understood this bill that is coming before anybody comes to divert anybody. It is very important that Ugandans understood this bill. Our comrades who are rotting in military, in Luzira because of military charges, this is what we've been saying for months, that they're being kept there deliberately in order to pass this bill so that they are charged under the court martial. Everyone has been ignoring this. We've been telling people that it's a deliberate move. When we tell people that call out MPs and people come out to say, no, don't call them out. This bill is coming out tomorrow and it's going to pass. It's going to pass like we said. And there's another extra 100 million that is going to be given to them. For those of you that think that the end of the road is done, no, it's not done. There is even a proposed amendment bill in the election where it is the MPs that will elect the president. Some of you are not even thinking about that. Some of you intellectuals are trying to hide away from this. We get prior information about all this. Things are happening. Those we are supposed to call out are being defended by those in the struggle with us. Tugamba ba MPs tubateeke ku nninga abalala bavaayo nti ba MP temubakwatako abo tebatugasa naye ate bajja okusaba obululu ate mwagala tubawagire tumbavu. That stupidity I cannot align myself with. You're either a Dwanzi not to understand the current political environment, or you're an excited person who doesn't understand how politics plays. We've been calling out these MPs to join Ugandans on the streets, to mobilize Ugandans. Basirise, bagani. Bagenda tulimba kimbu baze mu parliament bagenda kwekalakasizo. Bekalakasize kuki. Je tumanyi tebalina kye basobola nakukola. Lwaki tudda ku ground n'ozibula abannayuganda amaaso n'obakunga. Lwaki tudda mu parliament gy'omanyi tolina ky'ogenda kuyisa. That kind of pretense, guys, maybe for those who are not at home, for those at home, this is worrying. It is worrying. They are going to abduct your brothers and sisters. They are going to abduct your friends, relatives, and are going to be detained in the military court martial. Where you don't think that is going to be the same usual business. We go to courts of law. We go to court. Let's get lawyers. I feel so bad that even the lawyers in Uganda are not being realistic with the people. They keep trying to show people that they can fight within the same system, pretending and lying to people. When it comes to for them to join the people, they don't want to join. I mean, why can't we be honest with ourselves? We are heading into the military anarchy, and still people want to act like as if we are in a normal society. When we tell them mobilize people, join the people, let's mobilize the country to liberate itself, they don't want. People want to speak in tongues. When you call them for support, nobody shows up. Nobody. This is the pretense with our elites in Uganda. This bill is worrying for the people at home, worrying for the comrades who are in prison, because this is targeting them. For those of you that don't know, this bill is targeting the comrades who are already in prison. Kati gwe obadde olukyalinamu essuubi musimanyanga tulina libo tiimu kasita banaakiise enkya mwerabira wa comrades. But for months and months we've been saying this, people have been quiet. People have been telling us not to hold MPs accountable. Yet we've been saying these things, raising them because we understand the dynamics at play. And telling them they must join Ugandans. We must join voices, whether you're doctors, whether you're lawyers, whether you're teachers, we must join hands. At the end of the day, this does not leave anybody safe. Maybe for the people in the diaspora, they're safe. But for the people at home, you're not safe. You're not safe. It's the same thing we've been saying. We told Elwelu, he failed to listen. The same regime that he worked for made him go and attack the people in Kasese. It is the same regime that is dismissing him like a lumpen, like a goat. And they're accusing him and telling me, oh, you killed your own people. Oh, you what? This is how the regime works. Once they use you, you have no leverage. Everyone that the regime is using, even in Puga, it's kyo kijja kutuuka bano bajja kwefuulira. Same with you, the Katikkiro of Buganda Mayiga, bajja kwefuulira. Whoever is being used by this regime, don't think that these people want you. They are only using you for their next step. Once it's done, they will dump you. And for all the security personnel, especially the indigenous ones, it's high time you realized and sidelined with the Ugandans. You're being used to torture Ugandans. You're being used to arrest and abduct Ugandans. You're being used to kill your own sons and daughters, your own friends, your own relatives, on orders of people that are not even Ugandan, that don't even care about your livelihood. But they're using you to kill Ugandans, to torture them, to make them disappear. Comrades, think deep before you do that mission that they assign you to do. I would rather advise you to turn that same mission on those people that are sending you to do that mission. Because in a sinking boat, nobody's safe. With those of you, I welcome you guys to the Niteshift space. Let's share the space. Let's invite more people. And yeah, this is the bitter discussion we're going to have tonight. We've had this discussion before, but it's too bad that it's happening, and still people seem to be like in their own livelihood, in their own life. They've been quite after all. Me, I'm okay. Me, I'm well off. I have a good job. Me, I'm okay. I'm not like the others. My dear, my comrades, you're not safe. You're not okay. That is self-pity you're giving to yourself, pretense and false hope that you're okay. You're not okay. The devil has no friend. The devil eats even its own. Be careful, Ugandans. Share the space. Let's invite more people. In case you want to request for the mic, for those listening in, you can request for the mic. But yeah, share the space as well as we delve into this serious discussion that has great effect on what Uganda is going to be in the next years to come. Thank you.
Nti maybe bano abantu abakulembeze afe babeerayo nga batuwuliriza era nga bawuliriza bye tuteesa though nga times ebimu tebiba biwoomu but nzikiriza bawuliriza kubanga luli abaddengako lawyer I think but what was more important yalinako ekiraga nti NUP party president kitegeera president of NUP naye yakyusizza n'ateekako activist leader ekiraga nti naye ayinza okuba nga ebintu bino ebya Pate ayagala kubyeyambula somewhere somehow ngoba birina engeri gye bimukugira in his performance bw'aba agoberera party and party principles and zeebeetambulirako kati ng'osanga olumu okuzoganya oba okutambulira ku ekyo kye yagirako ayina osooka n'adda mu activist so yagyeko ekya NUP president n'ateekako ekya activist leader. To me, I was very happy kiraga nti now we can move as people power. Yes, wadde nga NUP tumwetugwa nga party, but for these things to continue working out well the way we need, oba nga bwe twagala, twetaaga okuddayokko mu people power. That is what I think. So, yeah, it was good. Nze kyansanyusizza, and most people haven't taken note of that he actually changed his profile. Kitegeera. So, I guess it is something good. Era abantu twongeremu amaanyi tetusirika tetugaana kwogera tetukitwala nti tebatuwuliriza oba tebatuliiko oba nga ye talina kyalaba oba kye I don't know why he changed it but to me I think he had a good reason of removing as a NUP president to activist leader. So you can go guys and check on his profile. Yachezina nateekako husband, father, lawyer, you know, nature, whatever, sorry, activist leader. So, and kiri badde biwanvumuka ebaddeko NUP president, whatever, byonna yabigyeko. So he's now, I think, advocating for something else, oba advocating for activism, okusinga kubanga era nze nsuubira yeyinza osinga otambuza ekintu kino era okutambuza emiramwa gyaffe mostly. Kati simanyi, but I was very glad that he changed. Nensuubira nti oba ebintu azzeeyo ku mulamwa ogwasooka. You know, mu bintu bya pate wabeerawo bakuyita batya, wabeerawo limitations nnyingi nti waliwo by'oba tosobola yingiramu by'oba tosobola gendamu as deep as you would because obake ebikukugira nga constitution olumu ya party nga bweba nga party bwe ino runningibwa nebo ddayo ng'oli ku solo ng'oli mu just a movement n'ogamba nti nze ndi muntu w'abantu I go by the people's voice so osanga n'olumu tuyinza omulako ku street we never know olaba bwaddayo mbu activist bwe tumwagalamu because yes is the NUP president tekigenda kuvaawo era ye mukulembeze ku ntikko but we need the other activist Bobby yasooka oli omuzoganyi you know we need him back bw'aba naye ajja atukulembere as he tried in 2021 was it 2022 nga tumaze okulonda so ne bitatambula nga bwe twali tulowooza I think this time when he comes ajja kuba ayina enneetegeka y'enjawulo gy'aba yeetegese but me I was very happy that he changed abantu balekerawo mulabira mbiri nga bali bano be twayita bakampoomedde addeyo kwoli Bobby oba ayambala t-shirt azambale gaba masuuti nga wakugateeka bbali asooka agateeka ebbali because really we are going in tough times ate ebiseera ebibi tulano tuwoza bali kuwamba abaana balitwala abaana but trust me these things are going to be too worse mu myezi egiddako awo mu maaso kwebiri kwesatu nti things are going to get worse that guy Museveni tatuula I know he's recruiting somewhere ayingiza abaana abato enkya n'eggulo bagenda eyo okuyiga simanye okukuba emmundu n'ekyaka mu kyaka those are people he's going to bring us balyoke bakube ffe ekibooko ne mungu apatabaali you know so we also have to get prepared simanyi batya naye we have to get prepared in any way oba naffe tugula zi paper spray ng'omwana nga foot soldier otambula ne ka paper spray bwe bakube naye bafuuwemu basooke bamuwe emiwabo ofune way out I think we should also look for those ideas ezitukuuma totambula na zi bonnet kubanga oba bakutwala ng'oba ayina ki naye naawe bayiweemu ka spray bakyakyane you know sorry allergies nnuma whether mbi gyendi mbi nnyo but kyembagamba kyekyo so Segwe I don't know if you can say something as we wait on Martin mpola yeah
Neyanziza we bali submission ye madam Big Bumper madam Kristo wuyo wali mugi Martin babataliwo madam Kristo abeera kikwatamu ekintu naye nange ku menu yange badde nnako ensonga eziwera kyogedde kituufu nze nzikiriziganya naawe 10 kubanga niwankubadde olusi twebuzaabuza ne twefuulanga ntya tetusaana kuyita president kujja twegatta kwe twatusazeewo okwekalakaasa naye tumanyi nti singa luki olunaku n'agamba nti kale enkya ne bw'ayogera bwogezi ku makya nti bannayfe na tugende ku street oyinza okundabira akatogo terufaanana nga lunaku lwa bulijjo naye kimanyi nga bwe yavaayo n'ayogera ku nsonga eyo yagamba nti ekisinga okumutiisa be baana b'abantu abalumizibwa ng'ayogedde ekigambo ekyo be baana b'abantu abattibwa ng'ayogedde ekigambo ekyo be baana b'abantu abagwera mu makomera ng'ayogedde ekigambo ekyo nze olw'okuba nga sirimu abo abatera okumutuukirira ebigambo byange byandibadde bwebiti ebidda gyali nti ne bw'aba takyogedde basigala batutta basigala batukwata basigala batutulugunya namba zigenda zepayiringa buli lunaku bongerako so bwe tukikola omulundi ogumu ne kiggwa kyekisingako obulungi era bw'abanga president gyali awulira message yange nga bwali nti amagezi agasinga agamuweebwa waliwo abantu bangi bamuwa amagezi amalungi musaba nange ekyanga yengeri gyakingamu aga amagezi amalungi gonna ge bamuwa ne bw'anaakikwatako katundu ne at least twetaaga twali twogera ne tugamba ntya lwaki bamemba parliament bavaayo kituufu singa bamemba parliament buli omu gyali luki olunaku ne bagamba ntya olwaleero abantu bange mwenna abampagira mu constituency yange tugenda ku street ngamba baffe bokka batuwagira si bali abalaba ababanooli omukulu omubbi Ssaababi w'eggwanga singa baffe bokka bavaayo ne bagamba nti bannaye tugende ku street kiba kiwedde kati nganzira ku byange eyo mbadde neekonyeeyoko bwekonyi mwami John Sadak yakulembedde aba European Union ne bagenda olwaliro ne babeera ku kitebe ensonga ebadde enkulu nnyo gye tuli ekituufu kiri nti okwekalakasa kwaffe kwe tukola ku X ne kimanyi nti bayinza okuba nga bo tebalaba biri bintu birala naye ndi omu kwabo nange neebala nti ndi omu kwabo abasinza okumuwandiikira emirundi emingi nga munenya era kiyasoose okukola ekyokwogerako nakyogeddeko nange ne mugamba nti sebo tukwebaza olw'ekyo kyokoze ekyokwogerako naye tekimala kale no nga saatiri nakutegeera nti already yadde alina meeting ne president naye namuwandiikira ne mugamba nti tekimala ekyo ekyokwogerako obwogezi ebikolwa byetaagisa abasajja mu bafiidinga ssente zibakozesa tukola ki okututulugunya n'okutta abaana bwe muba muzibajjeko kye kisinga obulungi ate olwaliwo bwe mpulidde ebivuddeyo mu meeting byebimu ku bibaddeyo nga babagamba nti abannange bwe muze bano abantu ssente tetubasaba buyambi bwa kutuyambako kubalwanyisa wabula tubasaba mulekerawo okubawa ssente kuba ssente ze mbaba bazikozesa mu ngeri ya kutulugunya bannayuganda nakutta abaana eddoboozi lyaffe lituuse mu ekyo bwe tugenda ku system ya protest vote yaffe ekituufu mbadde njiwulira ebbanga lyonna naye mbadde sigitegeera nga kisembayo olwalwo lwenfunye omukisa ogutegedde protest vote ekisembayo nga bweyina okuba era mpulidde omukyala madamu teacher Nambooze yabadde agisomesa yagisomesaako emabega nensigala awo nga nti protest vote eno abasajja bajja kutubba naye okusinziira nga bwannyonnyodde akeekalakaaso kakubeerawo ku olwo kyentegedde bannaye buli muntu atemye ku munne ku olwo lwe tugenda okwekalakaasa olwekalakaaso luli lwennyini olw'amaanyi kuba bw'adda nnyonnyola agambye nti ku olwo buli muntu kubiriza munno bwe mumala okulonda temuvaawo bwe mulaba akola effujjo mumufiriminge mumuteeke ku firimu bwe muba musobola okumulemesa okukola effujjo nga mulaba nti enamba zammwe ziwera musobola okukiremesa ekyo bwe kiggwa akalulu katuuka okubalwa mukabale bwe mumala okukabala mumanye awangudde mukagoberere mugende gye bagenda okalangiririra okulaba nti obwo bwe mwalonze mu kitundu kyammwe bwewo bwennyini obukoze eki obulangiriddwa naye ekyo kyokka ekyokuba nti mu kitundu kyammwe mumaze okakasa nti owammwe awangudde mu constituency yammwe ti owammwe awangudde tekimala kijja kwetaagisa n'okumanya pulezidenti akoze atya kuba kyekikulu bamanyi okutubba bakozesa system ewa MP babalabalaka MP ne bakamala mangu ne bamugaa kati gwe tukumaze fuluma ove wano owangudde kyebaagala aveewo aka pulezidenti bakabbe oba bayiseemu namba zitakoze eki ezitali ntuufu okugeza nga bwe banaga nti mu Buganda Museveni yafunamu miliyoni emu n'ekitundu oba mu emitwalo mukazaata afuna kati mu ekyo ono gwe ono awangudde ateeka okusigalawo n'abantu bonna ababadde bamugoberera bateeka okusigalawo okulaba nga akaluka pulezidenti kamala okubalwa ne bakakasa nti enamba nga bwe zivudde ku byalo bwe zituuse ku gundi ku polling center bagiyita polling center bwe zituuseeyo kati bwe kaggwa owamwe n'abeera nga awangudde mugende mu kibuga mutandika okujaganya bo ab'oku kitebe mubaweereza ebintu ebyo ebivuddemu nga mwakamala okubifuna eri kuki nga mwakamala okubifuna eri ku constituency nabo bagenda kuba bagatta bwe bamala okugatta bagenda kulangirira awangudde tetugenda kulinda byabakama ffe tugenda okwerangirira bwe tumala okwerangirira tutandikirewo okujaguza nga tulinda official eyabyabakama gamba nti yenga bwe babirangidde bwe biri bwe batajogedde ensunzi kampunzi kenga tuli mu kwekalakaasa kati kinkakasa bukakasa nti olunaku lutubadde tulinda olw'okwekalakaasa luli wali naye tutandika okukola rehearsals olwaleero obutatwala budde buwanvu nandyagadde okwonako ku ky'omusirikale ku ky'abasirikale abaakubwa ku police station waliwo ebintu bye tubuusa amaaso sebo pulezidenti nga bwe batugambye nti owuliriza ebintu ebikwata ku mukutu gwaffe guno naye waliwo ebintu bye tubuusa amaaso ng'abasirikale abo abaakubwa tuba twetaaga officially ne tuba visitinga abakulu mu kibiina nga SG naawe manyi nti otera okuwulira bye twogera wano nga Lopu Joel Ssenyonyi n'abakulu abalala mwennanga bwe muli mu kitebe muba mwetaaga ne mu visitinga abantu bwe batyo abatuusiddwako obuzibu ligimu eno oluusi babeera babadde balwanirira ffe nga bwe tuba tetukikoze tuba tubaliddemu olukwe ne babeera nga tebalina support yonna oluusi abantu ngaabo tuleme kuba generalize nga tugambe nti abapoliisi bonna nabo batutama babadde batuyisa bubi oyo oluusi gwe batuusizaako obulabo obwebutyo abeera abadde alwanirira ffe nga yekyusa amaaso ge kulu n'aga nti olwaleero sigenda kukola ki sigenda genda mu maaso na orders nfu kankole ekituufu naye bwamala okutuusibwako obuvune naffe ne tumuvaamu tetuddamu genda kola ki tetuddamu genda muyambako mu ebyo mwagenderamu gundi ono Muhammad Kirumira bweti bwe yagenda ngeri y'okusaaga owulidde naye mu kyo nsaba abakulu mu kibiina batuyambe bakole ki babire nga babawa abantu bwe batyo oluvisitinga waakiri olulaga nti ki tunyolerwa wamu nabo kwebyo ebyabatuukako oba oluusi n'okutugirayo olugero olutuufu olw'ekyo ekyaliwo kubanga regimu bavunvubika nejjawo obujulizi bwonna ate ne baziikira okubeera nti bafuna obuyambi bwonna tosobola kuŋŋa nti omusirikale gwe baakuba olwaliro omusanyufu akola bulungi emirimu nti era ye baamukuba byagwa aba yeetaaga abantu okuwulira sayidi ye impunity fenna tugiwa support mu Uganda mpozi n'akwata munnaffe n'amutulugunya n'amala n'amusitula n'amukasuka mu kooti sebo nemuteeka ku alimaani fena ne tusirika tetusobola kusituka lunaku lumu ne tugaa nti bannange kino si kituufu bamutulugunyiza ne bamukasuka ku alimaani era mukomera ekyo ne bakwata omusirikale wa poliisi ne bamukuba abamukubye tetunnabalabako ku poliisi wantu wonna nga babawozesa lwaki mwakuba omusirikale wa poliisi teriyo n'abakayanirako ebere parliamenti kabere kakiiko ka ddembe ly'abuntu olwaliro edi mutwe bamuteeka ali ku alimani naye akakiiko k'eddembe ly'obuntu tekavangayo kusindikiriza muhozi genda mu kooti kumutwala mu kooti lwaki yamutuusaako obulabe nga obujulizi bwonna bwe buli bukola ki bulaga nti yamutuusaako obulabe kati tuleka ebintu bwe bitu ne biyitawo bigenda tuzimbira ne ku lunaku lulwo tulina okwekalakasa tubeere nga tetusobola naye kijja kwetaagisa ebyo ebitono bwe biba biguddewo twegugungenga tumulage nti tokyalina maanyi olinda mukadde takyalina maanyi mutabani we yaliwo ate amagezi matono kati nga bwe kiri tuli ku mutabani we w'amagezi amatono tulina okukozesaamu ebiseera ebimu ku maanyi kuba mutabani we naye alowooza kukozesa maanyi naffe tukozesaamu ku maanyi ajja kuvaayo agugumuke then awo tumukwata awalu bannaye kanjire nga nkomaawo abalala nabo bateeseeko alya noona alya emmere egenda.
Thank you, Big Bumper, for co-hosting. Thank you, the rest of you comrades, for joining in the night shift. Once again, I welcome you aboard the night shift. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, comrades. This is the night shift. Encha, the UPDF Act. Je twayogerako emyezi n'emyezi egenda kuyita. Kino ekintu tuze tukyogera abamu ne bakitwalanga ekyolubalaato. Bakireeta enkya. People might be taking it for granted, but this is something very serious. Our comrades who are rotting in jail, our comrades who have been in jail for close to 4 years, coming to 5 years now, ene kooti egenda basangayo ebasalira emisango. Tuze tukyogera lunye nga tugamba ba MPs baffe tumanyi temulina kyamaanyi kye mugenda kukola, but we need you to join Ugandans on board. N'abantu bavaayo bagamba ba MPs tubaleke, ba MPs tetubabuuza, ba MPs biki bannange. Omuntu yenna abuuza oweewuwe. We have not been asking for MPs to go and bang the tables in parliament. We've been asking them to join Ugandans on the streets to mobilize people. This thing that is coming, the UPDF Act, is very, very huge. For the people who are not in Uganda, maybe yourself, but for the comrades in Uganda, bagenda kwata salumanya ne nalumanya mwenna.
Auntie, no one is safe nobody you're outside Uganda because we have families. People are there, our kids are there. Abantu asinga abana bali eyo, bamama bali eyo, bazadde bali eyo. Bayinza osalawo okozesa ekyo, bampa muzadde wali Uganda, katumenye tumukwate, ayipenge the sins of his or her daughter. Okitegera oba his or her son. So, no one is safe. And Echiruma, these MPs are quiet, have been quiet. And they have not advocated for that thing more as we expected. Basirise, until tomorrow, beeraga nti beekubisa emmeeza beekyanga kumba olwedde ssente baazirya 10 bo basobole ogisaawa ekiteeka kyabwe baasirika baabawa kusirika biruma nnyo okuba nze kyobanza abakulembeze bwe mbayisaamu eggaali they will be like this woman is crazy, this woman ayisa mu bakulembeze naye ate gwe ngamba otya gwe twakulembera olabye bagenda otuyisiza mu maaso tebikwatagana n'olema omwenga mu abakulembeze abagamba mutulwanirira okwekunga n'otukunga nti bannaaye muveeyo ng'abannayuganda tulwanirire kino kale baba aba political prisoners abalemye okulwanirira ne kino ekigenda otunnyikira ddala kibalema okulwanirira ng'olabira lwakuba ekisesa nti bagaanye otulwanirira balowooza balidde obusente ne trust me nakyo kigenda balya kubanga Museveni taliiko nti ono mukulu ti ono MP ti ono ate biki gwasazeewo okukwata amukwata n'amubeeza ebbanga lyonna ly'ayagala ate n'amuwozesa mu ngeri gy'awulira gy'ayagala so they have kept quiet ife batuteekeko obuteeka kubanga babawa obusente baguyise but we are going to see tekigenda kulya ffeffekka trust me kijja kubalya kijja kulya abaana baabwe kijja kulya ku part bakulira ekintu ogambe I had the chance to make this not to work out. I had the chance to stop this, but I failed as an individual. Basegirinya babasiba paka omusajja okutuuka okufa. These guys played less for those guys' release. Naye katulinde bwe bali kwatera omu ku bo nga bamaze okukkiriza bayise ebiteeka ebyo naye bagende bamusimbe mu kkooti y'amagye bamuwozese ng'omutujju ate bagumusingise era bamuwanike kalabba bo bakajjawo bayinza n'okukazzaawo asookerweko okulabirwako oba bamusibe life imprisonment bwebajja otegeera that baatulyamu olukwe and I really want it to happen to one of them bategeere nti abantu babeera bakaaba abantu babeera balaajana ne babayita mujje mu bakulembere kubanga omuntu yenna n'abadde alina okutya bw'alaba ng'omuntu bwe yalonda n'amuwa obwesige amukulembere yasoose ku layini bannaye abantu nabo balina engeri gye basitukamu ng'agamba olaba kansala wange avuddeyo olaba MP wange avuddeyo nze ani asigala wendi naye musirise gasajja mmwe ne gakazi mmwe but the world will judge you ebyo mutulimba muli bankyukakyuka tubalaba tubalaba mutuleesa obulumi ku mitima n'owira ng'oyagala osanga omukulembeze omusogge bonnet omanye nti oyo mumuwonye naye musirise but trust me Muzata yagamba muwaayo bannammwe ne mbakola biki naye nammwe kijja balya trust me nammwe kijja kubalya musirise mu bulumi bwaffe musirise mu maziga gaffe naye kigenda kubalya wande kigenda kubalya wallahi ono Katonda ono what comes around kidda era bagamba lweyagaliza era muka kitaawo lutta nnyoko nammwe mulutwagalizza naye lulitta bannyammwe.
Ndowooza ntandikira awo Muji Martin.
Yes, go on, Comrade Mugisha. Thank you, Big Bumper, for that.
I greet you all in the name of the Almighty, brothers and sisters. Awe nyini sister Big Bumper wakomye. Olunaku lwa leero nina mukwano gwange akola mu parliament. Emisana ku makya yaŋŋambye order paper enaatera okufuluma. Order paper bw'efuluma bagisharinga ku mikutu gy'aba MP. Bonna ba MP mwe bali ku mukutu ogwo. Naye egenza ofuluma agimpeereze ndyoke nkisharinge. Nga government ya Uganda page ya government ya Uganda egipostinze nga tepostinze first page yayo okubadde UPDF Amendment Bill. Naye lwaki ntandikidde awo ababaka baffe nga ne ropu mwali n'ababaka bonna bali ku mikutu gya parliament bafunye information nti eno bill eri mu kujja era egenda kubeera ku order paper. One tool of mobilization bonna balina zi social media account bandibadde bagiteekayo kuba teri tteeka libakugira kusharinga order paper. Teririiyo nti temusharinga order paper. Teririiyo. Naye bonna basazeewo kusirika. Njagala mumbuulire MP kabeera owaffe wa National Unity Platform eyasharinze order paper y'enkya. Kale tukkirize bakola mirimu gya parliament ng'abantu abamu batugamba tubaleke mu parliament n'ebintu ebifaanana bwe bityo. Big Bumper ina MP enago walabi yasharinze order paper. Nziramu Big Bumper.
Sina mukwano yadde n'akanyonyi sina and we follow their pages we repost their stuff but I've not seen anyone.
One way of mobilization is information awareness.
And they've singa Mugisha babadde bamanyi that this thing is coming up. That 100 million that came by, it was to silence these people. Buli omu yeefulenga atalina kyakola kye kyamanyi.
Bumper eyo yonna nga tetunnagendayo ati siko bandiswadde olwaleero ne bateekayo order paper ne bagamba
agenti bannange kiki n'ekigendo naye no one that taking us for granted naye mukama
quiet mwekyo temukiraba ne mukyewuunya lwaki ababaka baffe basirise ng'ate ekintu ng'ekyo kiri mu kujja ku order paper balinze kijje mu parliament then bafulume mu nkubo za parliament batandika okusinika ebinnyo. Bandikozesere awareness ne tulaba posti z'aba MP 50 kale 3 nga zonna zipostinze ekintu kimu ku order paper kuliko ensonga ya UPDF Amendment Bill. Ekyo kyokka kyandibadde kimala okukwata attention y'Abannayuganda. Ne bagamba ate yo bill eritegeeza ki? Lwaki gundi yakipostinze? Information flow. Naye kitegeeza bo bennyini be bakyasinza okusirikira information eyinza okuleetera Bannayuganda obusungu. Lwaki basirikira information esobola okuleetera Bannayuganda obusungu? Ddala bwe baba nga baagala enkyukakyuka. Namaze bisha yalinga nendaba ne Nicholas Opio wa chapter 4 ng'apostinze n'apostinga ne abstract ya bill eyo. Owulidde? Nendaba Nicholas Opio nga naye asharinze abstract ya bill eyo. Sikirabika Muji Martin obaji basharingidde wano I don't know abstract.
Yes, I've shared it. I've pinned it on in the chat, in the comment section.
Kamba somereka akatinitini ku byo. Abagambye ntino the second question all will be looking out for is the issue of the independence, competence and qualifications of those that serve on the military courts. The Supreme Court made damning condemnation of the sitting of laymen to determine questions of law, sometimes with grave sentences, including life imprisonment and death penalty. The bill seeks to cure this in a half-hearted manner. The bill renames the Unit Disciplinary Committee to Unit Court Martial and disbands the Court Martial Appeals Court. So now the military court system consists of the Unit Court Martial Division, Court Martial and the Court Martial. Qualifications of the chairpersons of the courts: Unit Court Martial, a holder of LLB and a diploma in legal practice. Not necessarily an advocate of the High Court. Akakantu kawulidde Muji Martin. Bana sagala nnyo kujja n'entandika kwogera jagozi wano ez'amateeka. Naye bakugambye nti omuntu talina kubeera nga advocate wa High Court. Ekyo kiba kitegeeza nti nno kikyasimbalala nti alina okubanga ng'ali liable n'amateeka oba ng'ali answerable ne High Court. Ekitegeeza abeera kwegamba obuyinza bwe abeera tabujja mu ssemateeka aba tabujja mu mikono gya Ssaabalamuzi w'eggwanga. Abeera tali subordinate wa Ugandan Courts of Law. Abeera tali subordinate owa High Court. Ekitegeeza chain of command eba esigaddeyo mu magye. ekyo kye kitegeeza bannayuganda. Bwe nkikuddiramu mu Lunyanyimbe agambye Division Court Martial shall be an advocate of the High Court again. No requirement of any years of experience not below the rank of Lieutenant Colonel. Awubizeeri Lieutenant Colonel. Ekitegeeza tosobola kuva eno nga osomye amateeka n'ogenda n'osavinga ku court martial yadde egenda kubanga ekyajinga ba civilian. Olina kuba Lieutenant Colonel. Owulidde? Unit Court Martial, omuntu okwera mu Unit Court Martial shall not necessarily be an advocate of the High Court of some experience. That means bakyayinza okukwatayo munnamagye waabwe ne bamutikkira LLB ne bamuwa ne gundi ya LDC. Then General Court Martial, a person qualified to be appointed a judge of the High Court Martial and not below the rank of Brigadier General. Imagine Brigadier General. Is it again in a civilian manner? No. You know, not to be a judge of the High Court, one must have practiced law for at least 10 years. Other members of the courts, Unit Court Martial serving military officers, no requirement for any legal training. Division Court Martial, 2 senior officers, 2 junior officers, a political commissar and a non-commissioned officer. Totally, bonna abo babeera basirikale. Owulidde? General Court Martial, 2 members qualified to be advocates of the High Court and not below the rank of Colonel, 2 senior officers qualified as advocates of the High Court, and such number of advocates as shall may be determined by the High Court. But kano kankabadiremu muje matini. Omuntu yenna okusavinga ku General Court Martial, there will be 2 members qualified to be advocates of the High Court. Qualified to be, but not necessarily advocates of the High Court, but qualified to be, and not below the rank of the Colonel. 2 senior officers qualified as advocates of the High Court, qualified but not have served there. They are just looking for qualification but not experience of serving there. And such number of advocates as shall may be determined by the High Command. That means abagenda okukola mu court martial yonna bali answerable eri High Command, bali answerable eri Museveni ne mutabani we. Si constitution. Hajukira High Command yakava okutuula. Appointment of the members. All chairpersons to be appointed by the High Command. Mbasomera biri mu gguuni mu biiru. Yadde tebanabire. Webi basi mujja ku munkuba emigga enkya. Kubanze biiru njirina ku.
Egenda yita.
Nanti
That is something serious, you know.
Mujibawa wano big bapa nga tebanagibawa. Nti nno omuntu yenna. Appointment of the members. All chairperson to be appointed by the High Command in consultation with the Judicial Service Commission. Mukimanyi bulungi Judicial Service Commission eri mu nkwawa Mwami Museveni. High Command mumanyi byekola. Ne meetings baali batudde badiscussinga naye gomanyi bye badiscussinga. Nti ne biiru eyo yalimu. N'engeri gye bagenda ogikozesa okunyigiriza bannayuganda ne statement ezavaayo mu High Command nga bagamba nti nno tuli mu kufightinga urban crimes. We shall not allow hooligans to come near the power. High Command is statement ezavaayo political. Essaawa eno bakugamba nti nno be bagenda okubanga be ba-appointinga abakulembeze ku court martial. That is military law. It is not anywhere near constitution or constitutional law, but rather martial law. There is a 2 distincts in martial law and constitutional law. Nga neeyongerayo wansi. Not clear what consultations, constitutions, and how it aligns with the mandate of the JSC under its parent statute. There is no corpse referencing leaving an open door to ambiguity and possible illegalities. Nebakugamba members of the Unit Court Martial constituted by the chairperson on a need basis when there is a trial. Division Court Martial, the chairperson can constitute the panel from the list of its members who by virtue of their ranks are appointed by the High Command. Kitegeeza the Division Court Martial chairperson gwe balonze yalina obuyinza okwerondera bye baayagala babeere ku pano ye ey'okusala emisango egyo nga tamaze na kwebuuza na ku Judicial Service Commission. Nibakugamba General Court Martial appointment by the High Command. Owulidde. Akasembayo tenure of office. All chairpersons serve for 3 years. The members of the General Court Martial serve for 3 years too. For the others, the bill is silent on their terms and they seem ad hoc. Byebyo baganda bangawo bwe tulaga. Naye abasirusiru abalina okunnyonnyola bino ng'essaawa eno bandibadde ku mikutu nga batica Namboozi nga bannyonnyola kino ekijja kyongere okunyinza bannayuganda basazeewo okusirika busirisi. Ba-activists baffe ab'amaanyi ennyo abamanyi ennyo ababeera ku street nabo basirise. Bagenda kuvaayo bagambe nti nno mwe mwogera nnyo abali ku zi space. Naye nabo basirise. Enkyo ogenda balaba mu nkubo za paalamenti nga bayiwa amalusu. Mu amendment bill temuliimu nature of cases ze balina kuhandolinga. Tekiriimu cases ze balina kuhandolinga nga bye bimu ku binyusi. kesi kize balina okuhandolinga kesi eziri civil kesi ezirina okuba court martialed ng'ojjiddewo ebya ambiguity
kitegeeza nti it is an open nti basobola okulumba n'oba oli wa civil oba toli wa civil bali mandatory okukima wonna it means the jurisdiction
bwe twali twogera ne tubagamba ku musango gwaba Eddie Mutwe woba ojjukira 3 months back twabagamba mwe temwebuza lwaki omusango ogwo bagulese guli open n'ogwa Besigye lwaki bagulese guli open
bagenda I also told some people and they were like ngamba you people ebintu mubiraba mutya oba how do you reason out things this case is open bagenda gattako buli kye baagala n'omubbi w'enkoko basobola omuteekako
wano baate ne bagamba nti nno muganda waffe Machete bamulese mu gundi eno bamulese mu civil court era gundi apiriye bali bagenda jiwuliriza wiki eri eno biru bweyita omusango gwate gugenda kusigalawo wakati gugenda sigala wakati nga teguli mu court martial nga teguli mu civil kuba bano bagenda kuddamu bagiyite bagambe gino gyali misango gyaffe tumaze okwetereza mugituddize mwako mubadde temukalaba twabagamba nga abaana bajaguza ne twagamba tujjeeko obusiru mujaguza biki ojaguza olw'okuba nakyemalira kuwadde emmere erimu obutwa abamu ne batuyita nti tetwagala byamasanyu tetwagala kibingi bye batuyita naye kati essaawa eno gye twabalengeza bye biri mu kutuukawo essaawa eno omusango gwa Dr. Kano Kiza Besigye nagwo gulinde kino nakyo ngenda kibabuulira nsaba Katonda Allah kisuule wala mu kaseera mpaawe kagojja kuwulira nga pulezidenti waffe bagambye nti nno omusango gwe bamulopa mu kooti ogwaba Mpuuga bamudisqualifyinza okwesimbawo kuba pulezidenti ekyo kikuzeeyo ku pulezidenti waffe nti alabira wala kikuzeeyo ku nsonga lwaki yakyusizza gundi bayo ye kuba muffe bennyini mulimu abasajja abeefuula nti nekibiina baali bakitwala nze yavaayo nenkiwolereza bagundi baseggona naye n'ovaayo ku mukutu seggona ku TV n'ogamba nti nno temusobola kusobola Museveni by violence yakola violence ku Obote yakola violence ku Amini yakola violence so kati wekibwa nga tetumukutte mu mbeera tumukwate tutya tumusiisirize ne buswiti tugende mu parliament twogere jagozi z'amateeka tumale tujje mu nkubo za parliament tumale tuddeyo eyo je statement ezikkakkanya emyoyo gy'Abannayuganda indirect laga mukakane temunyiiga temukola ki zezo statement ezakkakkanya abantu nga president waffe bamukubye projectile mu kigere those are the same statements be bakulembeze betulinze ku protest voting amaze okubaginga ekifo kye mu gundi eno mu nsawo nti aveeyo agambe Bannayuganda tubanje obuwanguzi bwaffe awamu tuyimuke ng'amaze okulaba nti nno kisawo vuga kisawo kijjudde azeeyo mu parliament era balina baga mukakane katumale okulayira tujja birwana tujja laba ku mulugube gwe balina nti tubalinze eri yes eri tumusaba tutuukeyo nga tuli nga ng'omuliro gwase bulungi naye enkuze tulina ez'ababaka mbisi tukkirize tugaane ababaka abasinga nku mbisi tuteeka mu kyoto zivulula kyovu buli kaseera batugamba musooke muzijje mu kyoto muzaanike zikale Bannayuganda betulaga waze mu biru y'emu eyo bagenda kuleeteramu nga bagamba nti no SFC ebeere legalized naye nga it is an independent force ekitegeeza ejje mujje naye nga liri independent dikola komandi zaalyo lyesalirawo buli kimu ekyo bw'ogenda mu politics bajja kugamba nti no it is to subdue the power of the main UPDF olw'ensonga SFC ejjuddemu bantu batali Bannayuganda ejjuddemu bantu ba protecting interests za family ya Mwami Museveni nga if any dissident happen ge gasobola okubaako n'ekirinde kye gakola either it is a coup in a coup or anything naye tulina abakulembeze abalinga abeefuula nti basoma ebyobufuzi babimanyi ne mu mbeera zino naziri naye ng'empiki tebaziraba bwe zitambula eyo nga nvuddeyo aba EU bazzeeko ku kitebe waliwo abagamba nti no tuleekaana nnyo tetukola ki twatandikira wano okukuba oyo omwami Yani Sadek n'abakulembeze abakulembera NUP mu Bulaaya Yani Sadek ne tumuteekako akazito paka ku EU de we yavuddeyo n'akola statement yadde ffe tetuli ku bya statement tuli ku nsonga za kulaba ebintu nga bikolebwa nga birina okukolebwa n'ayogera ku human rights abuses n'ebirala n'enkeera leero ne yeetikka abantu be ambasada be n'abatwala ku kitebe ekyo kyakolebwa kitya awo nawo nvuddewo naye leero baactivisi baffe ab'amaanyi ababeera mu other listeners ababeera mu anonymous bali eyo balinze kulaba kigenda kutuukawo then they react tulina okuyiga okureactinga nga tebannatusuna kuba baatusunaasuna dda bw'olaba gundi ng'omuntu agenda kusuna nga ejjo yakusunye ne luli yakusunye lwaki tova mu kifo ekyo n'obuukawo lwaki osigalawo nti jangu onsuna ndyoke mbuuke we need to learn to react kino kibabuulira biiru egenda kujja enkya muyinza n'okwewuunya nga n'amasannyalaze bagaggyeko nga n'okwekalakaasa tekubaddeewo yadde mu paalamenti nga ejja kuggwa ng'eyise bafulumemu awo wabweru boogere enzungu kula balugulinko mu gurankomu tubalinze mu protest vote kye baba bazzaako tugende mu maaso naye ng'ekimalamu amaanyi nti baafunye order paper olunaku lwa leero nga UPDF Amendment Bill kweri ne bagisirikira ne batanyega kigambo kyonna ng'ekintu ekiri nomo nga bagirinziza lunaku lwankyange maze okuyita deni bajogereko ddala bwe babanga tebakwata ssente lwaki babadde tebavaayo ne bagiteeka buli MP ku mukutu gwe n'agamba nti bibino bye baleeta bannayuganda muzuukuke twerwaneko eno biiro eri mu kujja olunaku lw'enkya ssaawa bwe ziti abasobola bannayuganda mujje mutwegatteko ku paalamenti olw'ensonga waggulu waliyo galale abantu gye batuula yadde tukimanyi bati bagenda bakkiriza kuyingira gwe nga MP teriteeka lyoba omenye kugamba abantu nti mujje muyingire ku paalamenti muyingire mugende mu galale waggulu muwulirize paalamenti bwetambula muyiye engeri gye musobola okukunga bannayuganda mu mbeera yo nakola kadola l'ensi yayo mugimatinze ne mwemalirawo.
Thank you, Comrade Mugisha. Thank you. Bino byonna bye tubadde twogerako. All along we've been saying this for close to 2 months, 3 months. It is a pity that the people, most of our comrades tell us not to talk about. They say no, because, there's nothing they will do. And we have given them that leeway of always being in that zone that we know we don't expect anything from them. Nemufuna order paper, nemusirika. Mulinzo took okwata obuzindalo wali mu nkuubo. Hey, the bill came, but we're outnumbered. There's nothing we'll do. After chewing the 100 million. I tell Comrade Mugisha, remember there's another 100 million that is coming. I tell you, 100 million eri mu kujja. Temwewuunyanga babagambye nti kati parliament ejja olonda president. Ekyo nakyo kiri mu kkubo kijja. We speak these things and people take them for granted. People come out and try to tell us, oh, you guys just, these are facts. And this is why I pity and I feel bad for my president. He's surrounded by Nicopons. He's surrounded by just selfish hypocrites who are just using him to get to their destination. Because I don't expect these people even to protect the president's vote. Eranze, I'm going to say this. During the 2020 elections, there was only one MP that came out and tried to mobilize people to the streets. Era tried to meet Mr. Update, Segirinya Yemubaka Yeka, who was making live updates, calling out people to the streets. The rest were busy ironing their suits, preparing in for the swearing ceremony. The same people told our president, we go to the court. These are the same people you want to tell us to trust? If they can be silent on the bill that is going to pass, the bill that is going to affect our comrades in prison. Anybody who is undermining this, tamani the effect of this thing is bigger than what you're just seeing it from face value. Goyinza okuloza nti kikwata ku bannamagye nedda kikwata ku the comrades who are in prison, even the Eddie Mutwez, because bajja kenda bamukyuse bamuteekeko ekirala nga kimutwala mu court martial.
Naye kirala mugimati batamanyi meeting ya high command okutuula, one of the things bye badiscussinga ngeri ki gye bayinza okukkakanyamu national unity platform n'opposition mu Uganda nga tool eri ku meeza emu ku tool eziri ku meeza kukozesa court martial nga bulijjo bakikozesa na kukkiriza bayise amendment eza UPDF Act. Bo bennyini be bazeeteesereza mu high command, bo bennyini ne bazeeyisiriza ne bazikwasa both azirete. Ekyo ekintu ng'okiyita kitini a tool that is being made to subdue and to create mayhem to Ugandans. Kiringo okugamba gwe nga weefula nti oli naffe eno be bali mu kutemera emiggo egy'okkuba naye n'okimanya nti bali mu kibira bali mu gitema kati giwedde bamaze bali mu gireeta kati mu tawuni n'emmotoka egireeta yeeno n'osirika n'otagambako banno nti mwana tumumanyi bali mu batemya emiggo bagireeta wabula nga oluyinza gituuke mu kibuga otandika okwesansabaga laba emiggo gigiri lwaki totugambirawo nti emiggo gijja emiggo gino ntegeeza biiru ng'eno a tool that is going to be used to kill young people, a tool that is going to be used to subdue democracy and human rights, and you call yourself a member of parliament. Tebakulimba nti tebamanyi abali kuno tebakulimba nti ba MP abo tebamanyi balina WhatsApp groups balina platforms za parliament okugenda order paper before kuba session egenda tandika kumakya bagifuna a day before order paper naye genda ku mikutu gyabo nkusiba ssente genda ku mikutu gyabo onzigireyo mukutu gwa MP wa NUP nomu oba opposition ku luno ndi kuba NUP kuba bebanga akuba obuwe bagamba akuba wumba naye nzigirayo omu nga yakipositinze lwaki tuwa abantu abalala omwaganya bwe banavaayo ne bakuliyetinga kya opposition ekyani kimale tutwala tulyoke tubyogere nti twabiraba ne tusirika teri yakipositinze nayo yadde ku mukutu kinnyonnyola naye olaba ba Nicholas Opia aba CSOs aba organization be bali mu bakitaddeyo be bannyonnyola ba agola bannaye biirwe ejja erimu bino bannaye biirwe ejja naye n'ebyo bimazi ne organizations ngeze zi chapter 4 zibitaddeyo naye era bakyasirise beebase balina bakyala baabo mu buliri bamu bali mu mabaala bali mu kunywa abamu bali mu byakisi
Mugisha olumala nga bagenda ewa president beekubye obufaananyi nga bawanika ekigalo nti be
balinze nze nabagambye
vote
baffe aba bulijjo be mumanyi nga banyumye mu busaati mu bikalu n'ebintu ebifaanana bwe bityo mugenda balaba enkya naye ng'omuzungu akugamba prevention is better than cure. otegedde nti kawumpuli ajja azinze olinza amale kukwata mwana wo nti kangende noonya omusawo muwe eddagala. Bwe tutakola assimilation ku bintu nga bino tunaakwasita tutya protest vote ng'akalulu kaffe bamaze okkabba? Tunaakola tutya bwe tuba kyovula ebibuuzo mubaamu testi abaana basooka ne babawazi testi nga they are gearing up okukola ebibuuzo. Naye testi tuli muzigwa twakaguba testi meka ne bakuwa project kitairo president mukugula eyo testi ne tugigwa ne wavaayo ba MP nga baseggo n'abagamba nti no you can't win Museveni in violence. Abantu ne bakkakkana ne badda ebbali. Ne tujja ne balumba Busaabala ne bagalawo ekitebe Kawempe North. Ezo zonna testi tuzigwa. Kati neno testi ezze tubadde tulina n'akasasi nti mu kibuuzo tulina ba MP abali mu parliament abafunye gundi order paper ne bakimanya nti kibiru kijja n'ebikirimu bye bino ne basirika tebatuwadde ku kasasi nti bannaye bannayuganda ekibuuzo kijja naye akasasi kaako balinze tumale okugwa paper bagambe temufaayo waliyo ekizaamu esembayo ekizaamu ya protest vote eyo mwe mugirinde ekizaamu eyo mujja giyita nga tugudde testi zonna tugudde zi mox tugenda kuyita yuneebu ne yuneebu tujja jigwa bwe tubanga tulemedde okukola testi zino obulungi ne wabulayo yadde ne ba MP basatu bana nti no MP baabo ku street balina abantu oba nti MP w'e Nakaseke wuna ali Nakaseke n'abatuuze b'e Nakaseke beekalakaasa wabula ojja kulaba nti bamukubye ttiyaga singa ali mu campaign ze za kumuzza mu office. Begenda okola research ombulireyo nti ono MP bamukubye ttiyaga ng'ali mu kutambuza njiri yakugamba nti no Museveni atumukooye yakugamba nti n'enkyukakyuka erina okujja. Yes, ebyo biyinza okubaawo naye ojja kusanga nga ku mabbali 70% abadde agenze bakuyega bannaye mundabiranga ddala nzija. Nga kimukwatiddeyo bambi ng'ayambadde ebyambalo bya NUP ne bamukubirayo emiggo ne katiyagasi. Naye ensonga ng'eno tebasobola giyimiriramu eri universal. Ensonga eri universal ng'eno ya amendment bill ya UPDF SFCF ke independent force within a force. Mbasomedde wano abatabaddeewo simanyi oba nandibaddiddemu naye okubagiwaawanyizaamu ku biiru yonna bakugamba nti no high command yeeyina obuyinza obulonda abalamuzi. High command yeeyina obuyinza ku balamuzi ba court martial biiru bwegamba. Kambaddiremu just obuli meja kuba saagala kulwawo nnyo awo. Owulidde. Policy and principles. The objective of the UPDF Amendment Bill is to amend the UPDF Act Cap 330 to streamline the composition of the organs and structures of the Defence Force, to establish a health care service for members because ebitya nayongerayo n'agamba ngenda ku kya kooti their jurisdiction to provide for the membership and qualifications of the chairpersons of the courts of martial or court martial, and for the independence of the court martial, to provide for appeal from the court martial, to provide for exceptional circumstances under which civilians may be subjected to military law, to provide for the exceptional circumstances under which civilians may be subjected to military law, and to prescribe the offences for which civilians may be tried by the court martial, to provide for the establishment of a military court department within the defence forces, to provide for the establishment of the disciplinary unit, n'ebintu ebifaanana bwe bityo naye nga ebikulu ebirimu kiri nti both agenda ogireeta naye nga bakugana the UPDF Amendment Bill 2025 will be tabled in the Ugandan Parliament tomorrow by both the Minister of Defence and Veterans Affairs. It is a 143-page long with 84 clauses. By all means, a major overhaul of the UPDF Act. On top of most people's mind is what it says about trial civilians in military courts. The bill uses the language of the Supreme Court in respect of trials of civilians, permits it only in exceptional circumstances. The bill does not define by what it is meant by exceptional circumstance. Open. The bill does not define by what is meant by exceptional circumstances, leaving it to be inferred from the grounds upon which a civilian non-serving person can be tried by the military courts. In clause 30, the bill introduces a new section 117A to encompass other persons subject to military law. These persons are explanatory notes. My addition: 1. Anyone who accompanies any unit of the army in active service in any place. This may include spouses, children, any member of a household, or any person staying with or accompanying a unit in active service. Ekitegeeza big bumper kino kyabadde abagamba abaana bamwe ne bakyala bamwe nabo kati UPDF kye bakimayo oba mubadde mu biyita by'amannyo mwenu. In clause 30, the bill introduces a new section 117A. A government anyone who accompanies any unit of the army in active service in any place. These may include spouses, children, any member of a household, or any person staying with or accompanying a unit in active service. 2. Any person serving the army on engagement by which the person has agreed to be subjected to military law. It is unclear what engagement would include, as it is not defined in the definition section of the bill. My exploration would include contractors, service providers, et al. Number 3. a person in unlawful possession of a person in unlawful possession of equipment or ammunitions, ordinarily the monopoly of the UPDF. Akagambo kali kabadde unlawful possession of equipment. Nagamba, they go to great lengths to list these items in clause 82 schedule 7A and 7B. Curiously, this includes firearms that can be licensed under the Firearm Act, such as a pistol, AK-47. The list also includes ammonium nitrate that can be found in large industrial complexes and research labs. Ammonium nitrate. It is also widely used in salt of ammonium and nitric acid, primarily employed in agriculture as nitrogen-rich fertilizer. It's also a component of explosives used in mining, quarrying, and civil. The list in 7B is far more elaborate and is not solely based on regalia. For instance, Kaunda sweets in love green. Kaunda sweet love green, court martial. Sky blue and coffee brown is now a preserve of the armed forces. Any person who aids and abets a person subject to military law to commit murder, aggravated law. Oh, Muji Martin Jolly ompuliriza. Muji Martin ompuliriza.
Yes, ompuliriza.
Twayogedde kuba akireewo lwaki babakutte kati njala owulirize kino abamu mbadde nsomera ku abamu abaana mbavuddeko n'eri kati njala owuliriza abamu ku masholo. Any person who aids and abets a person subjected to military law to commit murder, aggravated robbery. Musango ki oguli ku bakireewo Muji Martin?
Gwa robbery baba obusimu bane busente.
Aggravated, by the way. That's what they put on that.
Weno bill bakugambye omuntu omu kwali subjected ku martial law. Omuntu yenna ng'agamba nti yeekubaana ne munnamagye yenna okukola aggravated robbery. Kyangu nnyo okuleeta munnamagye ne bamuteeka mu musango gw'abakireewo ne bagamba nti yali akolagana nabo. Automatically baba baddayo mu court martial. Ngenda mu maaso. Kidnap with intent to murder, treason, gwe guli ku Besigye n'abalala, misprision of treason and cattle wrestling. Abekalamujja ndowooza nabo kati namwe mwekaalire. And cattle wrestling. The things to note here is that you have to commit to the thing to note here is that you have to be committed. You have to committed the crime in aiding or habituating a person. Habituate. Go and search that word. A person subjected to military law. It could be a soldier or any other person in the list above. Any person found in possession of sales of wears a uniform of UPDF. Found in possession of classified store arms equipment, the ordinary preserve of the UPDF. Soldier. Kati awo nawo tewo nkulaga nti saidi zonna temugenda kuwona we tugenda kufa abatemu abali bajja kuza simanyanga bikoze biti ate wano wongedde kumyumyula owulidde kati ate mu abadde bagamba ba big bumper nti no big bumper ali wabweru fe bamugisha abakuba enduulu bajjo abali kuno nakano kamwe mukawulire basebo abatali ku mu Uganda abamu kubali subjected ku military law bakugambye a person serving in a force outside Uganda. A person
basobola okuteekako international community eyo ne bakusubjectinga to any stupid case and you're brought back to book. Kitegeere.
Then the conclusion or my preliminary conclusion. The question that arises is what is exceptional about the circumstances described above to bring one within the jurisdictions of the military law. Save for military equipment, the rest seems pretty ordinary to warrant them to be termed exceptional circumstances. That is what the law says. But primarily, in a preliminary way, the second question is whether these comply with the ruling of the court. Essentially, it related what was in the old law. The second question is whether these comply with the ruling of the court. Essentially, it reinstated what was in the old law and imported what was in the regulation into the act. It does not seem like compliance by any stretch of imagination, rather a clever attempt at disguising its disregard of the Supreme Court directives and order. Amakuru abali tebamanyi UPDF Act bali instant nze ebikadde wabula ate ne bongeramu bwongezi ka sukali ate ne bakwata n'ebimu ebyali gundi obinyidolo bye yayisanga regulations twabagamba ku nsala ndibaga obinyidolo byayogedde bitukwata abamu ne basala enkoko wabula yali abawa regulations mwe baba importing ebisigadde era bwe kityo bwe kyakoze eki bwe kyalabise baganda bange era nga maliriza. The bill seeks to cure this in a half-hearted manner, whereby the bill renames the unit disciplinary committee to court martial qualifications of the chairpersons, appointment, all chairpersons to be appointed by the high command. Appointment, all chairpersons of the court martial to be appointed by the high command. Yani ajikulira high command, muhozi, nikitawe. Members of the unit court martial constituted by the chairperson on a need basis. Ekitegeza, unit court martial chairperson gwe babalonze naye yalina obuyinza okwerondera gye balowooza nti balina okuba abalamuzi ku yo. Division Court Martial, the chairperson can constitute the panel from the list of members. General Court Martial, appointment by the High Command in consultation with the JSC. Tenure of office, all chairpersons serve for 3 years. The members of the General Court Martial serve for 3 years too. For the others, the bill is silent on their terms and they seem ad hoc. Ndowooza mbannyonnyodde abatabaddeewo n'ababaddewo bwe twolekedde. Naye ababaka bafe aba paalamenti abayivu ennyo, abamu bannamateeka basirise, bali mu kulya bitumbuuwa, yadde okuvaayo okupositinga nga biiru baagifunye, n'ebigendo gibaamu ne babifuna mu WhatsApp group zaabwe, basazeewo babisirikire, bajja olunaku lw'enkya nga batukubira kerere. I beg to submit.
And they'll come batandika okuba emmeeza balage nga ebalwana tajja kukola ki nga they hold all the time to stop this. Oba ogamba abantu banne turwanyeeko kye turwanye, you know, but they are quiet. Bamala okulya obusente ekikumi kyabwe bali eyo basirise as if nothing is gonna happen, as if bannange naye nze as bwe ngambye before ekitulya kati nammwe kijja balya musirise mu kaseera ffe abaabalonda bwe tusinga obbeetaagira ng'abazadde b'abaana bakaaba bamaama b'amacete bakaaba aba edimutwe weshegera mwenana abasinga ku edimutwe musirise abamu lwe mulaze nti you can stand nga mulinga abagamba teri baana balala bonna ba political prisoners, you kept quiet, babobi yanga bafiira mu komera, abaana abasibye bitakwatagana, Olivia bamuta on under what conditions mpaka mukazi wattu bamusindiikiriza but
ndowooza kati biiru ndowooza abantu bagitegedde ngezezzaako
ogimenyeemenye but nze nga bwe mbadde nga ngamba abakulembeze be balina otukulembera mpaka kufa kwange abakulembeze you have to lead this kubanga twabalonda tukulembera gye mutukulembera mu parliament byagaana abantu be muteesa nabo be mugamba ebituluma be bateesa ebituluma ate mukimanyi bulungi. So what is that bye mugendayo mututeeseze oba mutwogerere nga be mwogera nabo be baleeta obulumi ku mitima gyaffe kibeera kiraga musaidinga nabo mu kifo ky'okomawo mufa abantu ba wansi abaabalonda muteese nammwe muteese simanya naffe mugambe let's move together bwe kuba ku nguudo tugende ffenna bwe kuba kuwandiika zi petitions zino wano ne wano let's move together but you're silent baba wa ssente zisiiba ziyitaŋŋana ezimanyibwa ezitamanyibwa you know naye ne musirika biiru eno mugisirikiddemu naye trust me kigenda balya nammwe kuba ebyambalo mubyambala mukola emisango sange eyo bijja kubalya n'okwagala okubasirisa for good bwe banaakwatayo ababiri abasatu ayino kijja kubalya bwe kinaakwata nga bakutte wa mu njuyo bw'ojja okuwulira obulumi bw'abalala bwe kinaakwata nga bakutte gwe as a person and this time nga tolina way out nga abantu tebalina bwe bakulwanira kubanga it will be already past bill ng'eri mugite bali gihane oluganda lumu luntawa nga bali giteeka mu nkola that is when you will know that waliamu abantu b'olukwe. That is when you will know that waliamu abantu abakuteeka mu kifo ky'olukwe nti waliamu abanaku olukwe waliamu abaana aba street olukwe waliamu abakazi abafiira mu malwaliro olukwe waliamu abaana abatasoma mu ggwanga olukwe waliamu ekituluma mu ggwanga abantu whatever category that falls there nti wagiryamu olukwe. Keep quiet nga mwasazeewo okusirika enkya tetubalaba nga musinika ebinnyo mwepositingisa mwekubisa emmeeza cause trust me this time tugenda bakuba tugenda olaba no tubagamba politely but tugenda bakuba tugenda if it means doing it for a whole month to put you down you people we are going to do it if it means us recruiting a internationally tujja kikola tugenda bakuba you're not going to stay there you fool us that you're fighting for us ngate mwe fighting nsawo zammwe mu protecting our positions zammwe mu protecting abufo bwammwe you know I wonder era president bw'ataasalewo abaana barwane kati basituke kati ng'akyawooyawooya trust me akawuluka 2026 okafuna tugenda kuba tulwanye ennyo kubanga these very people bagenda mulyamu enkwe these very people be bamu abakolagana n'empuuga that man doesn't know nti there is akakundi out there akakolagana n'empuuga abalwana bukubirire naye nga wano mu maaso ge bamulaga kirala that day he will know he will understand nti yalina obudde obugamba abantu bannaaye twerwaneko otherwise ebintu bigetinga worse day by day abantu basuubira nti bakola nabo be bali omulyamu olukwe togenda kuŋŋamba nti abantu bagenda kufa kalulu k'omukulu nga nabo bali kuvaawo mpitewo wakwagala kukuuma bufo bwabwe nga naye akuŋŋanya DR forms ze afe kuza pulezidenti nga naye ayagala kulaba ng'ayitawo afe kuza pulezidenti akunga abantu bagende beekalakasi ng'alaba ezze DR forms amaze ozifuna ayitawo mu kifo ate akkiriza abantu abo bagende beekalakasi no way they are all going to be there protecting their positions so it is either aleka abantu we fight now n'alema kugamba abantu bannaaye twewombe twekuume naye ebintu bino bigetinga out of hand nga tulaba nga tutunula naye twobyogerako and that is the end naye bakulembeze mwe trust me a day is gonna come that you're going to regret certain things ng'olaba ekintu kikulidde naye nga wali part of it indirectly nga walaga tobiriimu naye ng'obirimu naye we are watching you ate tugenda bakuba. Let's wait tomorrow. It's actually today ziweza saa mukaaga naye tugenda kulaba nga mukala musamba emmeeza mwefuule mbu babakubye enkizi kale bazaasize ddala tulabe naye mulekerawo tulimbalimba mulekerawo okuzanyira ku musaayi gw'abaana oguyika enkya n'eggulu mulekerawo okuzanyira mu bulumi bw'abazadde mulekerawo okuzanyira mu bulumi bwaffe ba foot soldiers who are there to get to what we want and not expecting any position or any pay from anyone. Teturana nti kubanga we want a position, teturana nti kubanga tulina omusaala gye tusuubira, we use our own money, otubeera ku trade ne tukozesa ssente ezaffe okwesuza, okweriisa, amafuta ne batukuba naye nga tugamba kimu Kyagulanyi abeere w'alina okubeera. It hurts a lot okubanga omwantu alowooza alina ekifo najja n'azanyira mu bulumi bwaffe gwe bagenda kuba tear gas ogenda kudduka mu mmotoka yo weesibiremu SC. Obeera omwo fe omwana ogamba banneesireka president ku kkubo n'obeeramu abawala twewaayo ne tulaana ne tuleka abaana baffe ffe tetukyalina basajja batwagala because balaba tuli mu bintu bya kisiru famire zaffe zatukyawa ne bw'oba n'ekizibu you cannot even call your mom or your dad ng'olina ky'osaba kubanga balaba tweyingiza mu by'ekisiru and then mwe mujje mulwanire mu bulumi bwaffe mweyagale bwe tutaafe nammwe tujja sooka tuve ku Museveni tufe nammwe abatulimbalimba ye Museveni tukimanyi tatwagala teyeeyisaako naye ate mmwe be tulowooza nti muli baffe nga mutulimba mweyisaako tujja kufaako n'omu tumanye mulyoke mumanye nti abaana balina obulumi we sacrifice everything to our last bit n'osula nga temwebase ne musoma policies twezzizaayo okusoma ku bulumi n'okola ki naye ng'oyagala ebintu obitegeere for a better Uganda tinaye when you stand to speak you can speak sense when you stand to say otegeera by'oyogera naye abantu mutuyisirizaamu ddala amaaso nga n'abasingamu awo MP abali awo cannot even stand in public and say a right statement oba n'oyogera for more than 5 minutes ng'oyogera mu bantu naye tubagumiikiriza ne falsi zammwe zonna naye mutulabisizza mutuyisizza bubi twalowooza kyabasinga engeri gye mwagiranga mba foot soldier mugenda kukola ekyenjawulo temugenda leka abo bayaye tuzoganako tumerako but you're doing the same thing ng'abaasookawo kati nze nange bwe nsiiba mbabuuliza kati mwabalaga abaagala ebifo ebiddako what difference are you going to make? What difference are you going to bring? You're also going to be compromised. Kati mwana okubeera compromised tubifeeko tulwanirire ekifo kimu Kyagulanyi atuuka atya mu ntebe yansonsule mwagambe bannaye okusinziira n'enkola ye kamuwe obwa minisita n'ensoma ye kamuwe obwa MP kati tulonde butoba MP abantu babawe naye nga tumaze obbasonsula accordingly kati ogenda kukyusa ki what are you going to change in that bad government? The governance already mbi teri gundi ekola institution muntu omu yalagira buli kintu bwe kirina okutambula kati gwolowooza ogenda kukyusa ki mazima lwaki temwegatta ku muntu wa wansi ne mutujja mu bulumi kubanga omuntu naye alaba nze bannaye nwane nga nze awo omusolo bali be bagufunamu nwane nga nze wano kesisi gwe iribya enja n'eggulo bane batwala ssente nga you're seated comfortably ddala mulwaniriraani muteesezaani you know you leaders ababawolereza temumanyi bye muwolereza temubeerangako mu bulumi bwe tubeerako n'olaba kyaliwo ng'akutuka ne mumuyitaako kubanga babagoba ne mumujjukira madda Franka n'atufiira mu ngalo ne batulemesa n'omubeerako mu ddwaliro n'okugenda okumuziika lwali lutalo ne mulowooza nti ffe tuli batutegeera bannaffe ne tuva mu kulonda ne batandika olumba omu ku omu nga bamuttira ewuwe. You think we are stupid? You think we tukwati nti tetutegeera? Baana bameka abafudde n'abamu bamawulire ge bataalaganga gye twabeeranga mu campaign abaana b'abantu ne basulanga ku byalo olw'okuba Kyagulanyi agendayo enkya ne babakuba ne babamenya amagulu ne bagawanikanga naye ebintu ebyo ne babigaana bannamawulire biteeka ku TV stations and we also couldn't cover kubanga naffe twabeeranga kuyiribayiriba tuddawa batwalagana.
Get kwabo abafiire luwuka abo aba risking their lives crossing that
my dear, I'm going to post that video nga ndiruwuka ku police ngamba bring Bobby out neyambulira eruwuka. You people, you don't know the pain we went through. Batusalako tewali gye mudda, you have no way out, you have no way in. Okitegeera abantu babatta babakuba President bamututte tugezezzaako wondera to make communication. Now you people abaana abafa amawulire ge ga reporting numbers and numbers of people died, you know. Naye nga balwanirira ki mukulembeze wamwe? Don't you have that pain? Nti otuuka ku kitebe batimbye abantu abo, those fallen soldiers, abaana bataali batasuubira nti kale Kyagulanyi ne bw'aba ayiseemu nti balimpa obwa LC1, but because they knew they were fighting for a good cause beewaayo olw'omu bw'obulamu bwabwe. Naye mmwe mutulimba nga ku ssente yaffe ey'omubi w'omusolo kwe babasasula. My dear, we shall fight with you, I swear we shall fight with you. Bwe kuba kuyeekera mu gavumenti naffe tweyeekere, tujja kweyeekera. We are not going to take this nonsense until when? Mutulowooza tusirika? Nay, not everyone is quiet and not everyone is taking this bullshit easy as you think. One day, one of you MPs, trust me, Denga Big Bumper, will serve as an example to the others. If not with us, my fellow foot soldiers, but at least with this regime. Ajja kusasula ate bubi nti famire ye naye erisigala erumwa ng'eyasegirinya bweruma olw'omwana waabwe okufa mu byetategeerekeka. Another body will come to ground naye ng'evaira mu gavumenti oba eva osanga lwe muliddamu amagezi muddemu ku kyabaleeta mulekerawo seruwaza omusajja yateekayo obulamu bwe famire ye eri matigga mwemulowooza Bobby akyasobola famire ye ekyasobola okutambula nga bwe yatambulanga jo olowooza akyali french oba bane bali free wherever they want we bagenda oba bwe baagala okuassociatinga nabo be babeera nabo he has risked everything ku lw'eggwanga naye mmwe abantu be yasalawo n'akwasa obuvunaanyizibwa mumulyamu enkwe mumufudde ekitagasa Bobby yali alina ssenga abantu tebakisobola namuvuma ku social media naye oyita ku tiktok nga live ku live bavuma omusajja n'obeera ano ku twitter nga post ku post oyisaamu 2-3 endala evuma omusajja lwaki mutuuka okuvumisa omusajja we batyo luli ani yali alina obwo agamaanyi neyo dasi teddamu omusajja oba even just to translate a little bit of what he has said mu ngeri emuwoowoolobe muteeka wansi you people okusirika tetuli basiru and coming up on these places kubanga tumanya ebintu mubifuna ate bibatuukako it is because we want you mwe muddeyo mwekuba emitima gyammwe mugambe naye ebintu byetukola bituufu oba ddala neetaaga okwetereza it is omuntu obeerayo n'akadde akeetereza naye bw'olema okwetereza ne mu ntaana era oligenda teweeterezezza you have omusaayi gw'abantu kubanga guno omusaayi kati tugubalaku mmwe mutuyiye bantu mmwe this is not what we expected from you muzze mu kulwanira bifo n'olaba abantu 5 bonna bazze ku kifo kimu nga n'olumu omuntu gwe balumba akola tatudde kale okusinziira ku bantu be abakoledde n'ogamba kati ddala mufaaki do you want to give this man headache agweri omutwe gumwabike kiki abantu abali ku neeki mwenna muzze mulaga mwagala ebifo naw kati ofiisi mugirekeraani bakulu ofiisi ezizammwe muzirekeraani who is going to take care of ebintu bya president kubanga ne wakitwala nti kale olunaku lw'okulonda nammwe mujja kubeera mu field nga mufa ku byammwe teri agenda kufayo nti bannange DR forms muzikuŋŋaanye nga muzireeta wano olaba bazitubbako luli nga bwe mugamba nga tetulina bifo ate olwo kati nga mwenna mugenda kubanga mulwanira ebifo byammwe guys let's open our eyes tuleke bano abantu otuzaawo tusiruwaza notufuula abasiru we know what we want as Ugandans era ekyokola tukimanyi bano abantu if we need to knock them out ngaffe let's do it tubalage nti tutuuka ne ku ballot ne tutatiikingayo MP n'omu oba kansala n'omu ne tutiikinga Kyagulanyi ne tuvaayo ng'oli agenda olaba balo anoonya oba MP talinaawo kalulu yadde tubalage ffe tetubeetaaga obudde buno ekintu ekikulu kye twetaaga ye Kyagulanyi why even wait ogenda mu kalulu kagenda mwana kansoke nkome naawo.
Thank you, Comrade Big Bamba. I feel your pain. That's exactly what a common foot soldier is feeling. You've spoken the mind of a true common foot soldier on the ground. Big Bamba. Thank you, Comrade. Comrade Joe, you can take on the mic, and then we'll have Dr. James.
Thank you, Comrade Martin. Comrade Big Bumper, I feel your pain. I hear your cry, and I think it resonates with the majority of us. And I think, much as we were expecting this, it comes as a shock. Not because it has taken us by surprise, but I think the sheer fact that our so-called elected leaders are letting us down. They've not lived by their expectations. And seriously, we would have expected at least a statement, some kind of preparation for how they're going to deal with the situation. But it just looks like they have capitulated, and so not just capitulated, but they are part of the scheme to pass this UPDF Act, which is going to be very, very unfortunate. And I think to us that is a declaration of war, and that means they've joined Museveni, and that we are going to fight them as part of this machinery. So it is very, very, very unfortunate, and it is what it is. That is what we have to deal with. So I think going forward, what we need to do now is really, really to plan. And yes, I think lamentations have had their time, and I think now is the time really to strategize very, very seriously. Omganda Gamba, we see Billy. So where we're heading, it's going to be very, very tough. We see the whole machinations, the preparations, meeting with the High Council. Now, this reinstatement of this UPDF Act, we know that Museveni is also weaponizing the violence, weaponizing the ghetto. We see he's preparing. They've been recruiting these bodybuilders, bouncers, so-called. So it is going to be bloody. It's going to be dirty. Moreover, they just passed the 10,000 UPDF officers, and we know they are recruiting 10,000 more. All this for the sole purpose of making sure that they overwhelm and rig the elections. But I think we are not going to let them get there. And even the pathway to elections is already I mean it's elections are already rigged. So it's not even it's no idea even getting there. So we need to use every tool possible. Now Museveni is going to use the UPDF Act, and I think listening to what Mugisha read, I've not really browsed through, but just going by what Mugisha read. This is very broad, it's open to all types of interpretations. In other words, they can even catch a fly and charge it. But we know that this is now meant really, really to first of all to have a tight grip on the comrades who are already inside the Edi Mutwes. They are talking of this aggravated robbery that is going to become the mantra. Everybody will be accused of will be charged with aggravated robbery, having stolen one phone and one sweater. So, which is ridiculous, of course. But again, we are in a dictatorship. So that is what they're going to do. And going into the elections now, this gives them sweeping powers. They are going to be arresting people, and of course, they'll be they'll just be what's the word? I mean, they'll just be trumping up charges. They talk of military equipment that can be anything. Even your shirt, whatever color it is, they can say it is a military wear. So that is where we are heading, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very dangerous times. But I think we don't have to despair. We still have it within ourselves to mobilize and to counteract this, and maybe not even get to the elections. But we have to do a lot of hard work. That is what is needed. Speaking of that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to report to you about the petition which we've written. So the petition is now complete. The first it is going to be addressed or sent to different countries and different international organizations. Amongst others, we're going to send it to the US, that is the State Department, in particular, maybe the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. We're going to send it to the UK, that is to the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office. We're going to send it to the EU. We're going to send it to the United Nations Security Council. We're also going to send it to the AU. By the way, we had new leadership, and I think it's time now to test and see if this guy is going to be responsive. I think going by what the initial his initial remarks, I think he's more of a serious man than his predecessor. We're also going to send it to the ICC, and the petition it is titled "Urgent Call for International Action Against Gross Human Rights Violations and the Democratic Erosions in Uganda under the NRM regime." So basically, it addresses already talks about the gross human rights violations, contrary to the Ugandan constitution, which guarantees our rights to life, to liberty, security of person, freedom of expression, association, and assembly, and it mandates the state to uphold the rule of law and protect human dignity. We also quote other conventions, for example, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, and the United Nations Convention Against Torture. So we also speak about the political prisoners who have been have been imprisoned on trumped up charges. Many of whom were abducted, have been tortured, and they've been incarcerated, and they've been denied their right to for trial. So these are some of the issues that we address, and then we give a list of the people whom we want sanctioned, and we give reasons why. These include Museveni himself, Janet Muhoozi. These include Christopher Damlira, Director of Crime Intelligence in Uganda Police. These include James Birungi, Head of Internal Security Organization overseeing covert operations. This includes Salim Saleh, Presidential Advisor and a key figure in corruption and militarization of politics. This includes DPC Hassan Hiwumbire, if you remember the guy who beat people at the recent Kawempe by-elections. This includes Anita Among, who has of course been sanctioned, but we want her to be because she still travels anyway. So I think we want her to be sanctioned even more so that she does not get anywhere. This includes Thomas Tayebwa. This includes Owinyi Dolo, Kiriowa Kiwanuka. This is a man. I mean, this is a man who's supposed to advise government on legal matters, and he's supposed to represent government in court, but he continues to provide legal cover for Museveni's unconstitutional rights acts. This includes Betty Kamya as Inspector General of Government. She's supposed to investigate and prosecute corruption and maladministration, but we know that she has aided and abetted corruption. She's very selective in people that she investigates. So all these people are part of the system. And then, hello.
I hope, let me just make a request. Can you please help us include also Norbert Mao, the Minister of Justice, on that list as well?
Yes, absolutely. And if the other names you want us to, Norbert Mao, yes. These are the cabal that is messing up our country, subverting the constitution, and continuing to enable the dictator to do what he's doing. Now bringing back this UPDF Act is one of those things. So and then we call in the petition, we call to action. So we demand the following immediate and concrete measures. 1, release all political prisoners. 2, we want an end to all abductions, torture, and all forms of political persecution by security agencies. 3, cease funding the Museveni regime. 4, we want accountability for perpetrators of violence. Those who have been abducting, those who have been violating our people, we want accountability for them. We want them to be investigated. We want them to, we want them to be investigated, to be prosecuted, and to be charged. 5, we want targeted sanctions on those officials I just read, where you said we include Mao. 6, we want the international community to support democratic reforms. Of course, this is a far cry, but this is one of the things that they should have done, but they've not done. Instead, they've continued to help Museveni. We want the civil society and opposition to be protected. Yes, please.
Joe, in a minute, I'm sorry to say this, but I've just received the information and confirmed it. Could you allow me to pass it here?
Yes, please. Do that, comrade.
I want to tell you that on May 12th, which is today, Machindia West MP Alan Sewanyana has been formally recharged with terrorism offences in connection with the 2021 Gambia Machete. The new indictment was read in court before Justice Alice Kumhanji, who granted both
comrade. Can you
defense
can you be a bit louder, please? It's not very. If you can be a bit louder.
Okay.
Thank you.
Joe, now can you hear me?
Yes, that sounds better.
Yes, that's better.
Okay. Breaking news. Today, Machindia West MP Alan Sewanyana has been charged afresh with terrorism. Sewanyana and 4 others, Mike Serada, Jackson Kanyike, Bull Wamala, and John Mugelwa, were today Monday arraigned before ICD Judge Alice Komhanji Kauka following an amended charge sheet issued by Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, Jane Francis Abodo. The amendment scrapped the late Kawempe North MP Segirinya from the list of accused persons. The charges stem from their alleged involvement in the Machete killings, commonly known as Vijambia, that left more than 30 people dead and several others injured. The court formally read the new charges to Sewanyana and his co-accused. The state maintains terrorism as the principal charge. That's where we are.
Wow. This is the night shift. This is how we get the news.
Subhanallah. Bane, I was telling Joe, who was reading that thingy, ayongereko mpuuga ku listi bambi tamwerabira. I know kuze olukaga.
Yeah. But dropped off, I don't know. Comrade Mugi, you happen to have that. Could you please share it in the comment section so that we can try to...
It's on my laptop because someone sent it to me. Then I will see how to share it. But another thing, it is, remember in the UPDF Act, they only say that it will be acting, for example, in the appointments, in cohorts with the Justice Service Commission. Remember just recently, Museveni, the dictator, made Justice Singiza. All of you know Singiza and what he did to our brother Segirinya and our brother Kakwenza. He is the current chairperson of the Justice Service Commission. And the Justice Service Commission is the only legal fraternity mentioned in the UPDF Act. But on that, Alan Sewanyana and 4 others, members of Medde, all members of the National Unity Platform, have been charged with terrorism afresh. Today.
Oh, thank you for breaking that. I see Comrade Sarah Be Nice has in the comment section.
When we come out and cry, this is just the beginning, guys. And as said, until it knocks on their door, that is when they'll feel the pain people are going through. It is just a click of, something. I tell you time that the people that are going to charge him, mumaje, and you don't know whatever they will be deciding. Chiniga.
Thank you for citing that. But he is going to be a candidate of the...
Thank you. I see Dr. James's hand is up. Dr. James, you can take on the mic. Joe, you dropped off.
Something. I hijacked Joe, but Joe was saying something. Let's give Joe to first finish what he's saying. Then.
Oh yes, Joe, you had dropped off. You can come back. Then we'll have.
Yes, I'm almost done. I was just reading call to action. What we want them to do. The last point is to establish monitoring mechanism. That is, to deploy international human rights monitors to document ongoing abuses, particularly ahead of the 2026 elections. So basically, that is what our petition is about. And as I said, we're going. Of course, it has to be signed. I've got some. I've signed Muji Martin, Hafiz Mugisha, Sarah Be Nice, Seguya Moses. If you'd like your name added, of course, Mungadi, Dr. Mgeni. Yes. If you'd like your name added.
I want to sign.
Please,
and please don't forget to add Mpuga, okay?
I was just explaining. you know, because we've got to make a case for why we're adding Impuga's name. So all those people whose names have added have made a case. Now it can be, I mean, in Impuga's case, it is going to be hard because one, he's not part of government, and if we, I mean, if we want him sanctioned, it's going to be a little bit complicated for Impuga. So
I think once we cut off the wings of his masters, automatically he will be cut off.
Exactly, because those in government, those who have either failed to discharge their duty willfully or by omission, yes, we can make a case against those. But because he's not in government, that becomes a bit tricky. How do we justify his name being there? Yes, he's corrupt, but then there are institutions for that. I think where we should take him. So that can be a little bit hard to sell. That is why. But Norbert Mao is in government, yes, and is part of the machinations that are ongoing. So clearly, if there have been gross human rights violations, then he's complicit in that.
Joe, can you also include that Frank Mwesige, the one in the police who is in charge of operations?
Yeah, Frank Mwesigwa, is it? Frank Mwesigwa. I think so. I'll look it up again. Yeah, but I think I know the guy, the fattish guy.
Frank Mwesigwa, MP, is an MP.
No, we are not talking of an MP.
No, not that Laos guy. He's not even an MP. He poses as an MP. If I'm right.
Honorable Frank Mwesigwa.
We are meaning Frank Mwesigwa, the one who is in charge of operations in the police.
But there is also Frank Mwesigwa, who is an MP.
He's not an MP, comrade. He just poses. He's always accusing our president. He's Mufere. That's all I wanted to share with you, comrades. I'm going to share I've shared with Martin, and Martin, I'll see if I can put it out and maybe we share. But I'm going to do an update and add those names. Thank you. So we're ready to go. That is our weapon, but that is just one of the weapons we can use. We have to fight on different fronts. So yeah, over to you. Thank you. I yield the mic.
Thank you, Comrade Joe, for that. Thank you for that tremendous work. We wait for it. We wait for that document. I hope the relevant comrades that will push it physically will do so, and then also us here to tag the relevant authorities.
Big Bumper, please inbox me your details. Thank you. I cannot sign Big Bumper.
Big Bumper inbox Joe. Inbox Comrade Joe. So, Dr. James, your hand is up. You can take one.
Very quick one. First, I wanted to let you know that maybe a copy of the petition to the U.S. Embassy in Kampala, hand one copy to the public relations officer at the U.S. Embassy, hand a copy to the political officer at the U.S. Embassy in Kampala, without fear of favor. I used to have the direct phone lines, but I've just been checking. It's like they blocked. I shared those numbers with some people doing march to Parliament. I gave some people. I think you must have abused the numbers. Now even me, I'm blocked. I can't reach them directly. I've just been checking because I thought I would not give their numbers, but I gave those numbers to some people who I think must have abused them. So they blocked me. They blocked the numbers. But make sure you have a copy for the political officer at the U.S. Embassy, and you have a copy for the public relations officer, and a good eloquent woman like Big Bumper. You can make an appointment to meet those two people, the political officer and the public relations officer, and ask them, do people know what is going on in our country? It's like by the time we're writing such petitions, attaching them to high offices, what are you doing because you're the embassy here? Are we lying? We are just concerned that we send a lot of petitions and we have a feeling we are never listened to. Now you people here, you're best here. Are we lying? If we're not lying, maybe you should help us to get these petitions to relevant offices in the US. Then the next thing I wanted to say, I listened to Big Bumper carefully, and I wanted to say this Big Bumper. Away from the politicians, away from the politics of Uganda, and then come and face reality that a Ugandan woman faces. I'll start off with the menstruation and menstrual hygiene and everything related. How many girls are there from secondary school, universities, and even some women in our homes? I'm trying to get something that can unite you women, and then maybe go to the boys and also get united. Sorry, call came in. I hope you can still hear me. Somebody had called me, and we had something that was similar to what they called. Are you hearing me? Thumbs up because somebody called me.
We can hear you. I can hear you.
Yes, we had something that started off. We have often said that we won the political. We won politics and lost the revolution. We won the presidency and lost the revolution. I'm trying to find something that is going to cause a spark in the young people. That young people can't even use their plight in the Middle East to fight Because government owes you a lot. Power is supposed to create jobs. Power is supposed to create services. To a young woman, to a young boy in Uganda currently, you need to hold leaders accountable. And I liked when you say you need to face your own people you elected. People you elected. But away from that political line, why don't you mobilize yourself as a young people, away from attaching yourselves to leadership? Because if you saw the little Gen Z in Kenya, it was just themselves. They were just themselves. Mugisha has just broken news here for us. I was also listening to some. I take time sometimes to go through YouTube, but I was listening to some fellas discussing. And there was Bobi Wine. I was listening, it is there on social media, on YouTube. And after they're quoting after the sitting the high command. So when you see Sawanyana has been charged with terrorism and recently he tried to relate with Bobi Wine, you see where the thing is headed. You don't need this nonsense as young people. You don't need it anymore. You don't need it anymore. Become ungovernable. Young people, away from people who are here who might even want to be politicians, take you the political line. The country owes you a lot. The things I tell you every day. The things I tell you every day. That some of you most of the times I don't compare us. You work in some place, but this is a contribution by even the business community in Uganda is contributing nothing. There should be no investor who doesn't invest in the younger people. The original investments we had, UCI left us with UCI primary school and a football field sold already. Utro left us with the Utro primary school with a football field sold already. All those industries we had a youth agenda. Fill young people, stadiums with young people. The youthful energy is not being tapped everywhere. Every politician now should tap it. No wonder you're even saying you're going to die for these people. Why should you die for them? Die for yourselves. Die for yourselves a little. Just military parties are just enough to disorganize that country. Look at the number of girls suffering. The girl child in that country has no future. It suffers. The true part, right now, even marriage is not there. The boys can't afford it. Nobody can afford a family. I'm speaking as a parent. I have children. I have my children who can't even put food on their tables. As I speak, my cousin has just lost a son. Joined the UPDF, and I'm asking, how was he killed? A young man, below 30. And the Boston is dead. I'm asking, how did he's putting on sports uniform, but with the UPDF, and then they're sending me news that he's dead. I'm like, how did he die? Was it in sports? They have not yet answered me. But as young people, you have reasons for mobilizing thousands of yourself on TikTok in the Middle East. It's not politics. How did we get here? How did we get here? I've just heard again somebody, there's a TikTok thing that has been going around that right now they are zeroing on spaces. It's in America here. It's the same here. You have these two girls, they say they must have their own bedroom. You must have your own bedroom. They define for you, the moment I get a boy, they'll say the boy must have his own bedroom. I'm sure that it has reached the Middle East. All of those bed spaces people have been talking about, they're now following them. Strictly rent rooms. Don't come and serve here. And that's what things are for us here, everywhere. So younger people, you have a lot of examples. You go to the Middle East and you don't learn. You go to Myanmar, you don't learn. And then they've been telling you now, your generation leader is going to be Kusivibwa. Do you need to wait for that? At least I had my time as a youth. My energy was tapped very well. And I gave back, trying to show you how the younger people, this happens. I have so many graduates. I have so many people sent to US. I have so many, because of their talent. Play football. Post Netomoni is a goalkeeper somewhere in South Africa, my student in sports. This thing, you are old. Nobody's giving you help. You're supposed to be mentored. Musabe. I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. James. Thank you for that.
Martin, a minute. As
where did you get your news also from? I'm trying to look for your news. I don't see it. Where did you get it from?
you want a snippet of that in the comment section,
It's already mentioned.
You can see in the comment section somewhere there. But also you can ask AI, he will tell you to confirm with me. But I just wanted to tell you that if you want to get hold of the UPDF Act, the whole amended act that they are taking to Parliament, I've shared the link in the comment section. You can also find it there. Here we share, we eat together. When we are not the MPs who get the bill and get everything and keep quiet and then wait to come in the corridors of Parliament to make noise. You can get it from there and understand what is coming our way. Remember, Alan Sewanyana yavayo nagamba nti no mpuga. Now Alan Sewanyana is back, plus other 4 comrades. This is where we are going. This is where we are going. When I come here and I speak a lot of jargons and English and quote the law and what the Constitution says, I don't know what comes into our minds. But I always say, what is coming is not a person. It is a monster, it is a snake, And I will conclude by saying three things. Either they will fight not to see President Robert Chagulanyi sent on the ballot paper, either dead or alive, or make sure National Unity Platform is not part and parcel of the election. They are ready to do anything possible. Remember the article I read in the Act where was it the 74117A, which was talking about people who have trained from foreign army and they stop from there, that they can also be charged with the court martial. It means no banga wagena muchaka we Netherlands oba wa Germany oba wa America, no de Kampala, you can be charged within the court martial. Remember, some of the guys in the government have sent their children into military schools, and that means they can be subdued in case, for example, I'll give you Che, the son of Otafile. In case Otafile tries to hubu hobon, grasp the son, like how they did to the son of this stupid former vice president Gilbert Bali was of Kenya. Go on, Mujimati.
Thank you, Comrade Mugi, for that. Thank you. And for those of you that want the information, it's in the comment section. Yeah, you can go out and check there about Alan Sewanyana, then about also the UPDF Act. Comrade Sarah, be nice. You can take on the mic. I hope my co-host, Big Bumper, you're there. Today, Crystal has a bad network wherever she is, and she's telling me she's failing to access the space. So, Naimu Musavide. Sarah, be nice. You're welcome.
Wanjagala.
Yeah. So good evening, everyone. I'm assuming it's nighttime wherever you are. So mbadde nfunyeko clip ka court ngesalawo omusango gwa Alan today. Can I play it? It's a 2-minute clip.
Yeah, sure. You can go on.
Okay.
Mu lutuula lwa kooti luno oludda oluwabi musango kufunanibwa omubaka wa Makindye West Alan Sewanyana n'eyali omubaka wa Kawempe North Muhammad Segirinya kw'ossa n'abalala bana lusangudde erinnya lyali omubaka wa Kawempe North Muhammad Segirinya kati omugenzi ku lukala lw'abavunaanibwa era bano ne bagulibwako emisango emipya. Omuvunaanwa Kanyike ng'omusango guno genda mu maaso asoose kugaana kukkiriza munnamateeka gwe bamuwadde okumuwolereza ng'agamba nti yandiweereddwa olukisa n'afuna munnamateeka owuwe ekintu omulamuzi kyagaanye. Omulamuzi awaliriziddwa okusooka okuwummuzaamu olutuula lwa kooti eno eddakiika 3. Kooti ngezzeemu basoose kukkaanya ku nsengeka y'ebiwandiiko ebireeteddwa omuwaabi wa gavumenti mu musango guno Richard Birivumbuka nga muno mubaddemu okulamba ebifaananyi byaleese. Omulamuzi Alice Komuhangi abavunaanwa bano abategeezezanga emisango emipya egibagguliddwako bwe baagizzanga 23 omwezi ogw'omunaana omwaka 2021 ku kyalo Setaale Masaka era ne baviirako okufa kwa Francis Mugerwa, Ronald Sebyoto, Sulaiman Kakoza ne Tadeo Kiyimba. Kati abavunaanwa kuliko omubaka Alan Sewanyana, Mike Serwadda, Wamala Bulo, John Mugerwa ne Jackson Kanyike. Kyokka era omubaka Alan Sewanyana ye yekka agguliddwako ogw'okuvujjirira obutujju mu Kampala wakati w'omwezi ogwa January n'ogw'omunaana omwaka 2021. Akulira oludda oluwaabi Richard Birivumbuka asabye omulamuzi okumwongerayo akadde ka mwezi mulamba nga bw'ayongera okukuŋŋaanya obujulizi. Wano omulamuzi Komuhangi wasinzidde n'alagira oludda oluvunaanibwa okuddayo olutegeke empapula kwe luneesigama okuweza omusango guno baziweeyo nga 11 omwezi ogw'omusanvu omwaka guno. Era kuno kwe yeesigamye okusalawo olwanga 26 ogw'omunaana omwaka guno okuwa ensalawo ye esembayo oba nga ddala bano basaanye okugulwako emisango emipya egibasomeddwa oludda oluwaabi.
Twabisinya bulungi so twetegese okuddamu omuwaabi wa gavumenti y'anaaba atuweerezaako ng'amaze okubifairinga mu kkooti.
Mu mwaka ogwa 2021 mu mwezi ogwokusatu okutuuka mu mwezi ogw'omukaaga babijambiya abaalumba ekitundu ky'e Masaka ne basanjaga abaayo okukakana nga 26 baserengese Kaganga abalala ne basimatuka n'ebisago ng'okuva olwo bano baakwatibwa nga kigambibwa nti baali mu kkobaane lino. Ronald Senvuma, NTV, Akawungeezi.
Right. Muwulidde bulungi. So this is what I'm thinking. Tugenda kutuula wano tutandike planninga protest 40 tujja kutuuka olwo olunaku tukole bwe tuti. Dictator is a chess player. Never forget that. Alaba bimu planning, alaba biki yali mu kukyusa amateeka, court martial, this, that and the other. What I just got from this particular clip, this is my assessment, as well as what has been happening in the recent past. Otunule Chifancha president, ngabamujjeko bamwetoolodde. Musango ki batadde, well, they had planned to do that prior. Time is, they raided the head office, they took staff and they're building a case. They are building a case of terrorism. They're building a case of whatever it is. They are bringing back the court martial. They are positioning themselves. And by the time, where's Dr. Besije? This case has been building since end of last year. By the time now we are ready, they will have accumulated enough evidence. Don't forget that each time something like this happens, they make sure it appears in international news, especially the Besije case. It's very easy to come back. How did they package that news that they released about Dr. Besije? We can all go back, Netulaba, until they said Uganda's opposition leader. So that is one Uganda's opposition leader. It's very easy to take a opposition leader. It is a well-calculated move. But now, protest vote. This man does not want to go in elections, especially if that ballot paper has Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu. You saw what he cannot sustain He cannot sustain the campaign season. He can't. Even last time he struggled. This time round, he can't. Secondly, he has realized that last time he knows very well that he did not win that election. This time round, he doesn't want to be seen. He cannot cause the same amount of torture and all that he did. He cannot repeat that same chaos anymore. So this is why Bata and Kidao, they had to start early